This is Suna Senman again, reading A Course of Love, brought to us by Marie Perron. This is the fourth reading, and as I always do, I'll start with the last paragraph of the last reading and continue. You who have come close to truth only to turn your back and refuse to see it, turn around and look once again. You have traveled your path, and the end of the journey is in sight. You stand at the precipice with a view of the new world glittering with all the beauty of heaven, set off as just a little distance in a golden light. When you could have seen this sight, you turned your back and sighed, looking back on a world familiar to you and choosing it instead. You do not see that this choice, even made with every good intention of going back and making a difference, is still a choice for hell, when you could instead have chosen heaven. Yet you know that choosing heaven is the only way to change the world. It is the exchange of one world for another. This is what you fear to do. You are so afraid to let go of the world that you have known, that even though it is a world of conflict, sickness, and death, you will not exchange it, will not relinquish it. While God remains unknown to you, and you remain unknown to yourself, so too does heaven remain concealed. Thus, in turning your back on heaven, you turn your back on yourself and God as well. Your good intentions will not overcome the world and bring an end to hell. In all the history of the world, many have done good, heroic, and at times miraculous deeds without the world changing from a place of misery and despair. What is more arrogant? To believe that you alone can do what millions of others have not been able to do, or to believe that you, in union with God, can? What makes more sense? Try to choose to try again what others have tried and failed to accomplish, or to choose to leave behind the old and choose a new way, a way in which you become the accomplished, and in your accomplishment bring the new into being. What is the difference between your good intentions and willing with God? The difference is in who you think you are and who God knows you to be. While this difference remains, you cannot share your will with God or do what God has appointed you to do. Who you think you are reveals the choice that you have made. It is either a choice to be separate from God or a choice to be one with God. It is a choice to know yourself as you always have, or a choice to know yourself as God created you. It is the difference between wanting to know God now and wanting to wait to know God until you've decided you are worthy, or until some other designated time, such as death. What are good intentions but a choice to do what you can alone, by yourself, against great odds? This is why good intentions so often fail to come to be at all, and why, when every effort has been made, the outcome seldom seems worth the effort. You cannot earn your way to heaven or to God with your effort or your good intentions. You cannot earn, and will not ever feel as if you have earned, the designation of a person of such worth that you are deserving of all that God would freely give. Give up this notion. You've decided that you know how to do good works, but that you do not know how to do what God asks of you. You think, if God asked me to build a bridge, I would build a bridge, and this is likely true. Yet you will not become the bridge. You refuse to recognize that the Christ in you provides the bridge that you need only walk across to bridge the distance between heaven and hell, between your separated self and union with God and all your brothers and sisters. You prefer to think a good deed here, a bit of charity there, is more important. You prefer to give up on yourself and to help others without realizing that you can help no others until you have helped yourself. You prefer selflessness to self because this is your chosen way to abolish ego and to please God. This is not unlike the attitude of a good mother who decides to sacrifice herself for her children without realizing that her sacrifice is not only unnecessary, but undesirable. Your good intentions neither please nor displease God. God simply waits for your return to heaven, for your acceptance of your birthright, for you to be who you are. Your good intentions neither please nor displease God. God simply waits for your return to heaven, for your acceptance of your birthright, for you to be who you are. The first book being, this yellow book, is kind of an exercise in learning to be, or remembering to be who you are. The second book, Peace, is applying that to relationships. We will return to A Course of Love again tomorrow. And enjoy today with blessings, blessings, blessings.